So we're real excited to learn about senior fraud today from Ted Meyerson, AARP. But before we do that, let's meet the team and learn about the team that is bringing this to you, and that is the CarePatrol team. Bonnie, I think you're gonna talk about CarePatrol, and then we'll get to meet some of the team members that are on the call today.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. We are so honored to have you here with us today. I thought I'd use this moment to give a little bit of a wrap up on our year and putting the pieces together in our webinar series. I'm Bonnie Danker, and I'm one of the 7 franchise owners in the Baltimore, Washington area for CarePatrol. And I have the Howard and Montgomery County area, and I'm joined today with my colleagues from all the offices throughout the Baltimore, Washington area. And we have been coming to you monthly since September of 2020. Families, caregivers, and professionals, we've been coming to support you in your daily life and in your work with topical discussions on things of interest. We're honored to have been able to come into your living rooms, your offices, and to meet with some thought leaders who have shared some information and resources. Your attendance and engagement has grown each month, and we continue to hope that you will engage with us today. The first quarter of 2021, we kicked it off and we met with Dr. Asante Dixon, and we talked about daily stresses and the effects on the brain. We learned about the science behind those daily stressors, and we learned some strategies for reducing our stress. In February, that lonely month for so many of us, we had a topic on social isolation and loneliness and holistic approaches to working through that. In March, we tackled that frequently asked question that so many of our seniors and their families seek to understand. What is Medicare? What is Medicaid? How does it work? And how does it apply to me? And how do I apply? The second quarter, we launched with a great program about a benefit that so many of us are not familiar with and didn't know existed, Veterans Aid and Attendance. In March, we sought to end the confusion. We were joined by a team of experts from home health and home care organizations. We in the field of healthcare tend to use a lot of lingo and jargon sometimes, and it can be very confusing. And we've learned that from our families and the professionals we work with. And so we came together to learn about home health care, skilled care, private duty care, and home care. We broke them down. Our experts shared how they work in collaboration with one another, and hopefully you walked away with a better understanding. We finished with a panel discussion in that quarter on Parkinson's and how it's a family affair. We spoke with someone walking the journey and really learned about their experiences, resources, and perspectives. In the third quarter, we took a deeper dive into planning and legal topics. We started off with estate planning and protecting your retirement dream. We were followed that session by the next session, which was on advanced directives and the importance of legal planning. In the fourth quarter, we've brought to you Medicare during that open enrollment period, a thoughtful discussion about Medicare and how you are able to connect and reach out to other professionals to help you decide which insurance of that program is right for you. In November, we had a panel discussion on skilled care and assisted living, long-term care, retirement living, to really understand the differences between those different resources and types of senior living options. And today we're very excited to be bringing you fraud identity theft with Ted Meyerson. We'd like to thank you and we'd like to thank our sponsors. We'd also like to thank all of our presenters who volunteered their time and shared their expertise. And we'd like to say a special thanks to Steve Gurney, our moderator, who's been so impactful in allowing us to bring this programming to you every month. We're grateful and enriched by you. We're in the process of developing our 2022 content, and we would welcome your input. Please feel free to add it into the chat section today or reach out to us individually. You'll see all of our emails and our contact information will be throughout. All this content can also be accessed through YouTube. So if you have a family member or a friend or maybe a church group or another organization, which really would like to understand a little bit more about one of these topics. They are available to YouTube, and we are also available to you to come and speak with you or your family or your organizations to help them really learn and understand a little bit more about these important areas of question and concern. We'd like to wish each and every one of you a very happy holiday and a joyous new year. And now you'll get a chance to meet some of my colleagues.
Great. Yeah, and thank you, Bonnie. I did drop in the YouTube link with all of those recordings that you were talking about. And now this is usually my favorite part, is where we do the Brady Bunch squares. So Charles, I've got you under, or no, let's see. Wait, who was just Bonnie? You moved around on my screen. So let me start with Cindy, Cindy Evans. Cindy, if you wanted to tell folks where you serve.
Hi, I'm Cindy R. Evans. My territory is Anne Arundel County, part of Baltimore County, and I also go down into St. Mary's and Calvert County. Welcome. Thanks for attending.
And then under Cindy, we got Charles.
Welcome everybody to the CarePatrol presentation. My name is Charles Picard. I represent Prince George's County, and I share the District of Columbia with Bonnie and with Robin Edwards. I also work in Charles County.
Great. And then Jessica, I've got you next on my list.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jessica Pankert. I am part of Bonnie Elliott's team with Bill Baker Norris is also on our team, and we work Carroll County, Frederick County, Washington County, Maryland, and Loudoun County, Virginia. Welcome, everyone.
Great. And then I'm going over there. We've got Bonnie, just to refresh everybody's memory, what region are you serving?
Yes, I serve Howard County, Montgomery County, and the Northwest District.
Excellent. And the center square today is going to be Amy Fager. So Amy, tell us where you're serving.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Amy Fager, and my territory is in Delaware, Sussex and Kent County, and then we also have the entire Maryland Eastern Shore.
Great.
Welcome.
Okay, well, before you guys jump off, I want to make sure that we recognize the sponsor that you got for this month's discussion, which is Ike Obiora, and he is with NP On Call. So Ike, if you wanted to turn your camera and mic on and tell us a little bit about your organization.
Hello, my name is, can you guys see me?
Yeah, here, I'm gonna stop share. There we go. Yep.
Hello, my name is Ike Obiora. I'm the Director of Nurse Practitioner on Call. I just want to take the time to thank Bonnie Elliott of CarePatrol and also Steve Gurney of Pro Agent. I'm going to just talk a little bit about Nurse Practitioner on Call. Nurse Practitioner on Call was founded in 2017. We're committed to providing exceptional, passionate care focused on you and the individual's needs. Our team of behavioral specialists focus on different modalities to provide comprehensive care, education to our patients and the community. So if you and your loved ones are struggling with mental health, behavioral health issues, or addiction, you're not alone. Our team of professionals are always here to help. We use a multidisciplinary approach. Our expert team provides medication evaluation, diagnosis, treatment of various emotional, behavioral, and cognitive concerns, including depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia. So we offer psychotherapy, psychiatric evaluation, and we service several different areas: PG County, Charles County, Anne Arundel, Howard County, Baltimore County, and Baltimore City. And we are trying to expand to different parts of Maryland. We offer several different treatments for substance abuse and also treat the older adults. And we go to different locations, including nursing homes. And we also go to people's homes to help them with counseling, help them with other things that they might need. And we do referrals to PRP, and we also help with supportive employment. If you guys have
Great.
any questions for me, just let me know. My information is provided by Steve.
Yeah, excellent. And the most important, Ike, if you can hang around to the end, the popular thing that we do is spin the wheel of names to give away a door prize. So we got everybody's names loaded into the wheel of names there. So we will see you at the end of the presentation. And again, I cut and pasted the CarePatrol team into chat for folks. And that leads us now to the program. And we've got Ted Meyerson with AARP on. Ted, thanks so much for joining us today. We're really excited to learn more about fraud, identity theft, and the AARP Fraud Watch Network. But before we do that, let's get to know you a little bit better. Tell folks about your background and what led to you in your current role.
Well, when I retired from real work, I got into some advocacy work and have been with AARP and other organizations, been active in Howard County, and have just tried to keep myself busy. And it's a two-way street. By doing that, there's a lot of return that I get. And so I'm here today as an advocate from AARP Maryland, wanting to talk about a subject that I think is extremely important for all of us. And I've got just a boatload of information backed up by a handout that I think Steve will be able to put on the chat for anybody who wants to access it, as a reminder about what I'm going to be flying through at breakneck speed.
Okay,
So,
great. Well, I'm not going to slow you down. I posted the handout, and I'll let you share the screen and then share your screen. And then I'll just remind the audience that if you got questions, just type them in. And Ted, if you want to take a break at any point in time, I'll let you know if you got any questions. Okay,
so let's start. Now, I'm going to apologize because what I'm looking at is over here and you're over here. That's only because of the way my screens are set up. I'm not trying to ignore anybody, okay? So we're going to talk about fraud, scams, and identity theft. What it is, how it's done, how to protect yourself, and what to do if a thief steals from you. So there's going to be lots of information, but no legal advice. I'm not a lawyer. AARP won't let me give legal advice. I don't even want to do that. I just want to share this information with you. It is a big deal. It is really a big deal. There were 4.7 million reports last year, and I gather it's up about 17% so far this year. And the biggest single report goes to identity theft. Well, why is that? What makes identity theft number one? Well, there's just lots of information out there. You can try to control access to some of the information. You don't have to promiscuously throw your social security number around or show your driver's license or your passport number or all those things that are listed, but there are things out there in the public domain that people can get to. Your legal name, your current and past address, your place of birth, and where and your birth date, your email address, your phone number, your affiliations, your memberships, your employer, your credit report, and what you do on social media. There's information everywhere, and you don't have to have your computer hacked for people to get it. You have a credit card. You give it to the waiter, disappears, comes back. You don't know what happened to it. Shopping online, social media. Wow, more information on social media. military records, some of which are in the public domain. Government agencies, licensing bureaus, you want to do something on your house, you have to get a permit. That's all available to the public. Your mortgage information is available to the public. As a matter of fact, title theft is an issue. Job applications, just think, those of you who are still in the workforce, maybe want to change job, fill out an application. Everything's on there probably except your blood type, and maybe that's on there too. School registrations. My wife and I take classes at Howard County Community College. Fill out a registration. Obituaries. Would you think of that? People get information about people who have passed and use that information to build a new individual and get credit cards or a mortgage or anything else. Engagement announcements, warranty cards, birth announcements. Babies get social security numbers while they're still in the hospital before they go home. Infant identity theft is a whole program, and I don't want to interrupt us now to get into that, but it's out there. If you've had an interaction with a person or an organization connected to the internet, your information is just out there and it has been stolen. Just in October, Twitch had 125 gigabyte data leak. Okay. And there were 1,767 publicly reported breaches in the first 6 months of 2021, which exposed 18.8 billion records. Just look at the list, and this is not inclusive. This is, there's others you could add, from Yahoo having 3 billion records lost, down to the bottom on the list of Friend Finders Network of 412 million. That's over 2 trillion records stolen with a T. So if you don't think your information is out there, I'm telling you it is. So what do thieves do with that information? Well, they can go in 2 directions. They can take information and use it to, get information from various sources and build a whole new persona, and take that persona to the bank, literally, and try to get a credit card, buy an automobile, anything. Well, you can say, my social security number, I keep it private, but so it's secure. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe somebody gets your social security number and adds it to somebody else's name and somebody else's phone number and goes to the bank and convinces the bank to give them a credit card. And guess what happens when the bank can't collect the money, but they have your social security card? Who do you think they go to? Okay, so there are old and new ways for people to steal information. Old, but still working, give your credit card to the waiter, like I said before. He goes away, takes it, does whatever he's going to do with it. Whenever you're making a transaction, you're exposing yourself if somebody takes your credit card. Leaving mail in an unlocked mailbox. I try to know when the mailman's going to arrive, and I try not to leave stuff in the mailbox very long because I don't know what's coming. It could be a check, it could be a statement from the bank, could be anything, and I don't want somebody to get information from there. So I try to get to the mailbox and keep it empty. Stealing, just straight out stealing. How many people get warnings about when they travel? Be careful about pickpockets or burglary. That's also a probability. But there are newer and more sophisticated ways that people can get information about you and it's less risky. It used to be thieves would sit in a parking lot outside of the gym, for instance, and watch who goes in and what they put in their trunk. They don't even have to do that now. They've got Bluetooth scanners. You put your laptop or your phone in the trunk of your car. It's still on. It's sending out a Bluetooth signal. And they can just walk down the aisle and whoops, this trunk's got something in it. Pop the trunk and they're gone. Skimming, that's a device that a thief will put on a ATM or a gas pump, and you put your credit card in and it reads the credit card, and somebody around the block in a car gets all the information recorded and you're vulnerable. Now, they can put it on a gas pump in 30 seconds. Inside the gas pump, you no longer can be sure that there's not something loose outside when you rattle your credit card. It could be internal. Just know that exists. And on the ATM machines, you say, well, I've got a PIN number, so I'm safe. They would have to have a PIN number. Well, they have, how small cameras are today? You've seen them advertised on a pen that you put into your pocket. And they can put that camera anywhere over the ATM machine. So one warning is when you're using an ATM machine, cover the digits when you put in your PIN number. You just don't know if there's a camera or where it is. And that may or may not protect you, because some of the skimmers have gotten inside the machine and it's an issue. So Steve, I did remember that I should stop. So let me stop sharing for right now and ask, are there any questions?
Let's see. I think we're good. So just keep on checking in.
Okay. All
We're
right.
good to go.
Let me get back to share screen then.
Okay.
All right. So one of the things that we're all witnessing today is phishing, vishing, and smishing. Well, what is that? Phishing is somebody contacting you by email. Vishing, same thing, but they're contacting you by phone. And smishing, contacting you by text. Now, there's something common about all of them, all right? They all want to entice you to give information or allow access to your device. They want you to verify your account. There's a problem. The invoice is attached. We owe you a refund. We have a gift for you, or I need a favor. Phishing almost always has telltale errors. Here's some examples. These are really current. Bob Giddings sent me, hi there, I need a favor from you. I'm unavailable on phone. Kindly let me know when you're online, ... Now, that just doesn't sound right. And I had no clue as to who Bob Giddings is. So I surely did not answer him. Here's another one. Jackie Justice sent you a message. I have no clue. All right. So I click on view file and I don't know who's getting that or whom I am allowing into my computer. Then there's the messages. This came from Verizon, supposedly. Okay. And I'll tell you, who's ever doing this has been tenacious. I have gotten 6 or 8 versions of this over the last 2 weeks. Dear Verizon user, all caps, no punctuation. Look at the address. Why would you put October 2021 in capitals? So it's time to verify, comma, before you lose your access. The comma is not right. And log in, restore, it just looks out of place. There's something wrong with that. I ignored it and didn't suffer any consequence. Here's another one from Sun Trust, a bank, right? So it's a vague address. And if you look where it comes from tds.net. They want you to verify the process. Click on this link. And yet, in the bottom part, the stuff they stole from SunTrust, it says we never send unsolicited emails. So here you go. It's contract. It's a contrast from what SunTrust says and what they're asking you to do. Notification of your account ending. Well, they didn't put any ending numbers in. There's two different ways that you can link. There's misspelling, and just look at it. And that's because this stuff can be coming from any place in the world. And so there's usually some kind of error. You think that's unique? And I'm telling you something that's not happening. I got this from the Maryland Department of Transportation just, 3 weeks ago. And it's saying, please ignore the text if you get a link saying m.customer. So that's out there, and the government recognizes it and is sending out a warning. I don't know if this is real or not. It's supposed to be from Home Depot, but look where the address is, from ukandu@ac.uk. I'm not going to click on it to find out. Vishing scammers onto the phone. They work on emotions. They build a profile. They gather information about you or your family. They build trust. They build a long-term relationship. They'll take 6 months, it'll take a year to build a relationship. They'll promise riches. I got money to share. I can't get it out of the country. If you let me deposit it in your account, I'll share it with you. I'm sure you've heard of those. Now hiring. Well, we go back to that application we talked about before. Now hiring. So fill out an application. Make a special offer. Only a few left. You've gotten those too, I'm sure. These coins were only 10 of them were manufactured in 1802, and I've got 3 of them left. Seek your help. Charities or someone in trouble, like my grandson. This was a year or so ago. I admit this is not current, but what is current is my wife got one of these calls about 2 weeks ago. Hi, Grandpa. I know it doesn't sound like me. I broke my nose. Okay, so the first thing they've done is set up why it doesn't sound like them. To make long story short, I had an accident. I'm in jail. They'll drop the charges if I pay the damages. Can you send me $3,000 so I can get out of jail? Well, okay, Aaron, call me back in a half hour. I'll see what I can do. And then I dialed Aaron. Aaron, yeah, where are you? I'm at work. You're at work. You're not in jail. Grandpa. So you just have to be careful. Recent scams, the recent ones out there right now are COVID. COVID got cures, vaccine alternatives, fake vaccination cards. That stuff is out there right now. Your Social Security benefits have been held because of suspicious activity. I'm sure some of you have gotten that call. Your Amazon or Apple account will be charged tomorrow unless you speak to someone or call this number. I get those on an average of 2 a week. Ads, click here and you can get a free something. Well, you probably can, but you're going to give them your social security, your credit card number when you do, and it's easy to get what they're giving away free. It's awful hard to cancel at the end of the month, or you forget to cancel and you keep buying stuff. Romance scams are big. Romance scams are huge. They're probably in the top 10 in the country today. And I saw an interview with a woman the other day, an older lady, who lost $128 $128,000. They go something like this usually, and they'll take weeks and months and maybe years to build the relationship. I never met anybody like you before. I know, I promised to come to see you, but I can't. Well, why can't you? I need an operation. You need what's the matter? Well, I've got this or that, and I need an operation. Well, why don't you get the operation? I don't have insurance and I don't have the $15,000. Oh my God, John, let me help you. I'll send you the check. Boom, that money's gone. There are new scams every day. Every day, somebody figures out a new way to try to get you to give them money. IRS, you owe taxes and you'll be arrested. SEC, you're involved in a fraud. This is Apple or Microsoft, your programs will stop working. I know you've gotten that one. Fake bills, the invoice for the item you ordered is attached. I didn't order anything. Wonder what that is. So I click on the link and they got me. We owe you money. We're going out of business. We want to return your money. Fake charities. Look what happened in Kansas now. Kentucky, I'm sorry. All of us want to help. So you get a call and you send money, but it's not going where you think it's going. Have I got a deal for you? Tax preparation. Check with the AARP Not Fraud Watch Network, and you'll get a list of scams that just doesn't quit. And there are other kinds of scams too. I got caught with this one. As COVID had started, I wanted to get some more Kleenex boxes, and I think they're $8 or $10 for 6 or 8 of them at Costco. And so I didn't want to go to Costco, so I went on Amazon and I got one box for $8.95. So I was had. And electric details. Quick story. I know you've gotten sign on with this third party and we'll save you 20%. Well, they did, but then they sold their company to another company, and the things look right. It wasn't excessive, but when I finally checked it, and I don't even know how long it went on, I was paying 80% more for electricity than I should have been paying. Use credit cards instead of debit cards, okay? Debit cards, people tell me, if somebody gets my debit card and steals, the bank will make me whole. They'll only make so much whole within a certain period of time. And you have a period of time in which you can report a theft. And if you don't report it, the money is gone. If you use a credit card, there's a $50 limit, and credit card companies are really good about making you whole. Scan everything you carry in your wallet. If you lose your wallet, at least know what was in it. The fronts and the backs of the truth. If it's a credit card, you know the credit card and you know whom to call to report something. Micro shred everything. I had an old shredder. It went straight up and down. I saw a demonstration where if somebody got something, they could put it back together in 30 seconds. Then I saw you could get cross shredding, and it took them a minute and a half. But a micro shredder puts out stuff that's so tiny, nobody can do anything with it. And they don't cost any more. So I got me one. Check and monitor your credit reports. You can do that easily. And freeze your credit. Well, lots of people don't know what that means. So what does it mean to freeze your credit? Freeze your credit. All it is instructing the credit bureaus to not give out any information about you. Okay? And you can do it online or by phone. You'll need to prove it's you and establish a login ID and password. And you would be amazed at the questions they can ask you to prove it's you, just to show you how much information is out there about you. And if you don't freeze it, somebody can get all that information. I remember they asked me my current and former address, what I paid for the house. They got down to what kind of boat I had owned, the year it was made, and what the license number was. You unfreeze your credit when you want to use it. And you can put a time on there, unfreeze it for a day, and it will automatically go back on. Don't lose the password. Redoing, getting back in is a tough job. Now, this is not 1,000% secure because of all the information out there. If somebody gets enough information, they can answer the questions and get into your account. But it's every place you go, every bank, every credit card, every place will tell you, freeze your credit. It's not 1,000%, but it's close. And you say, well, I don't need to do that. I've got a monitoring service and they report credit card fraud. Well, that's not going to protect you because they're telling you what happened. It's already been done. Will the credit card company make you whole? Yeah, probably. But it is something which has already happened. Steve, do we have any questions?
Here, let me just double check here. And the yeah, let's see. Merrill says, I've seen so many of these obnoxious activities happen to some of my clients. She's a daily money manager, which is, you know, that's a profession that can really help folks sidetrack fraud, because when you have a daily money manager, they're reviewing your bills and all that stuff to when you have an objective third party looking at your communication, it can often be helpful. I love the example of the shredders. That's scary that even a cross shredder could be put back together.
Okay, shall I go on?
Yeah, keep on going. But folks, if you got any questions or comments, throw them in.
Okay, so what do we do about all of this? Well, be cautious. Check it out. If you get something, contact the company directly. Never use an email link. And if you Google, make sure that the number you're getting when you Google is really the company you want to call. These thieves are so clever, they can put a company name and a phone number in, and when you call, you're calling them. But if you're doing business with somebody, you probably have some way to know that the phone number of the company with which you're doing business. Don't let a salesperson intimidate you. Develop a refusal script. So if you do talk to somebody, know what you can say that they can't refute. Now, I spent a lot of money going to conventions, listening to speakers, and I learned a refusal script, which is unbreakable. The best salesman in the world can't counter this. I don't know. I just don't want it. I don't know why. I just don't want it. Has no sales rebuttal. Hang up if there's no answer when you pick up. Don't answer, can you hear me, with yes. Now, that's not coming from me. Ann Johnson, Vice President, Cybersecurity of Microsoft, says never say yes. Why? They record that. You get something in the mail. I didn't order that. You call the company and say, I didn't order this. And they say, well, you did. Listen to this recording. Did you want to buy this? Yes. So just never say yes. Know who you're talking to or communicating with. And unless you initiated the call, never give information. So if you're calling somebody and you know who you're calling, you know who you're talking to, and you have to give a social security number or a credit card number or something, that's different than somebody calling you and asking for information. And if you are asked to pay with a gift card, it's a scam. If you are asked to pay with a gift card, it's a scam. Never use the same password for multiple accounts. Create secure passwords. The longer, the better. Phrases are good. Something you can remember. Like I like ice cream on Monday morning. That'd be hard to break. Use a password vault or a password manager to help create a unique and strong password, highly encrypted. And you can look online to find a password vault that fits your needs. Use two-step authentication. What does that mean? I go to log into the bank, I put my password and my ID in it, and then it says, whoops, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you a 6-digit number to your cell phone and put in that 6-digit number, and then we'll let you into your account. So it's an additional step, which seems painful, but it's a security step and it's worth doing. Monitor your bills and financial accounts online, not by mail. Why? All right. The bank sends out statements on the 1st of the month. I get it on the 2nd of the month, but on the 2nd of the month, somebody's gotten into my account and stole a ton of money, and I don't know about it until the 2nd of the next month. But if I'm checking online, I can check it 3 times a day. That's a little excessive, but I can check it every few days. And I can't do that if I'm doing this stuff by mail. That's for a bank account, credit card, all of your transactions. You ought to be able to have an online account which you can use to regularly check to make sure nothing adverse has happened. Keep your software and antivirus spyware up to date. A lot of the things that people use to hack into computers are fixed and updates are sent out. But if you don't have the update, you don't have that protection. If you have to use, or if you want to use public Wi-Fi in a hotel room, at Starbucks, at McDonald's, get a virtual private network, a VPN. If you don't, you're on public Wi-Fi, and public means anybody can listen into what you're doing. All they have to do is be sitting around a corner and they can get into what you're doing. If you have a virtual private network, it's encrypted when it goes out. It can make it look like it's going or coming from any place in the world. And the guy who's out there trying to steal from you is unable to get back into your computer. Use secure sites. The S on the HTTPS stands for it's been encrypted. And if you're going to do a business transaction and you don't see HTTPS, be careful. Don't get hooked. Never click on a link or open a file you're not sure about. 90% of the hacks occur. That's private and commercial. Somebody clicking on a link. So never click on a link or open a file you're not sure about. Be sure to check on the sender. And if you Google the sender, like I said before, be sure you're not going to a fake site. Things change. I told you about the electric bill I ended up paying too much money for. And now you got smart homes. And just as a reminder, you're hooked to the internet when you have a smart home. And understand that. And if you choose to connect your appliances to the internet, learn how to do it securely. Learn what the parameters are about what the company you're using have in terms of how they'll use your data and who has access to it. Home assistants like Alexa and Google Home are constantly listening, and you just don't know whether or not they're recording or how long they're keeping the recording. If something is stolen, notify everybody you can. Notify anybody who will listen or won't listen. Just let everybody know. Contact AARP's Fraud Watch Network helpline, and they will give you some advice as well. And the point is, if you can get the information out there to all the people you do business with, saying my information was stolen, you may be able to prevent something adverse from happening. That's a little different with a credit card. Let me be sure we understand that. If I lose my credit card, I call the credit card company, they stop that number and send me a new credit card. Well, okay, I did notify. So from that degree, yes, I notified. But if you have something stolen that's not that easily taken care of, notify everybody on the line. If your social security number gets stolen, let Social Security know. And whatever, contact your insurance provider. Keep notes and records of all calls and contacts. If you ever get into a meeting with somebody and you see somebody taking a lot of notes, 50% of the time it's a lawyer, because they know. Keep notes and records of all calls and contacts, because when somebody comes back at you and says, well, did you call anybody? You want to be able to say, yes, I called Wells Fargo on the 13th of December at 10 o'clock in the morning. I spoke to this person and this is what I said. There are other helpful places. The National Elder Fraud Hotline, wonderful place. These places are good. I've gone on and they do help, and they're easy to get to and willing to help. And that number should be on the handout. The Federal Trade Commission, same way. Really, that's a neat website. You can go on there and play with it and see what they're suggesting you do in several situations. And of course, again, there's the AARP Fraud Watch Network. And that number is on the handout as well. They'll give you tips on how to avoid comm scams and identity theft, warning about new scams, a place to report a scam. There's a Fraud Watch helpline, which you can access. There's a fraud tracking map where they'll tell you what's going on in your particular neighborhood. And you can get a bi-weekly watchdog alert newsletter, and you don't even have to be a member of AARP. So, Steve, that brings me to the end of my presentation. I talked fast because I had so much to say.
Yeah, you really got through a lot of it, and this is great. And we do have a few questions here. One person says, I believe a number of years ago, AARP had programs where people can volunteer and work with law enforcement to help identify phone scammers. Do programs like that still exist?
Well, the Fraud Watch Network has volunteers, and I am a volunteer with the Fraud Watch Network. AARP Maryland does not have a program like that. The Fraud Watch Network is a national program.
Okay, so I guess the thing is, whether you're looking for help or you would like to volunteer, reach out to your local AARP chapter and you can make connections. Or can I share an email that with everybody that they might reach out to, Ted?
Well, AARP Fraud Watch Network ought to be on that handout.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So check the handout, folks.
And
That's
if you
great.
call,
Okay.
if you want to volunteer, call them and say, hey, I'd like to volunteer.
Okay. And then let's see. Okay. Merrill says, thank you. I have worked with former IRS agents on an embezzlement case. What people try to get away with. Yes, people get caught, but protection is the best battle against these selfish individuals. And she also says Ted is phenomenal. He is stating actions, activities that other fraud speakers have not mentioned. I agree. You really, I've been on a few of these discussions, and you really opened my eyes to some really good things. Elizabeth says, thank you. This is very needed. Will we receive a copy of the PowerPoint? I don't think AARP shares their PowerPoints, do they?
No, but I have tried to cram as much information on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper as I could. And I think you'll find a lot of reminders about what I talked about on that sheet of paper.
Okay. And then Elizabeth wanted to know what Ted's contact information is for future programs. Is it okay if I just shared individually her email, your
Sure.
email with her?
Sure, of course.
Okay. Elizabeth, I will drop that into chat. And our sponsor Ike said that this is very informative, amazing details, lots of good resources. Will the handouts be emailed to the registrants? The handout, we probably can email that handout, but Ronald, but if I'm going to drop it into chat one more time here so that you can just grab it right off of this discussion. Also, for those that want the PowerPoints, we recorded this, so you can share this whole presentation. That's one way to share the PowerPoints.
Yes.
Great. This is fantastic. We've known each other for years, so I know how what a great presenter you are, and we've done so many different presentations together. Here, I'm just dropping your email in there. Okay, so I think we got most of the questions there, and Deborah's already looked at the handout and she said it's great. So everybody do that. Okay. I came in late, how to get a copy of the, okay. So I know I will make sure to respond to your question there. And with that, it's everybody's favorite time where we bring our sponsor back to spin the wheel of names. Let's see, there we go. We got Ike, and let me bring up the, let me share my screen here. And all right, Ike, if you want to give this a virtual wheel a spin.
Okay, I'll do that.
Just go like that. And we are going to see who our winner is here.
Spin it.
And it looks like it's Heidi Garvis. Oh, wow. Heidi is an aging life care manager. So that is fantastic. So I'll make sure to get her email to the CarePatrol team so that can be sent out. And with that, I'm just double checking to make sure that there's any last minute questions. I want to, if we can bring on any of the, oh, well, we got a few hands raised. Let's see what, if any of these are actual questions. Let's see, Stephanie and Ronald, your hands are raised. If you had a question for Ted, feel free to turn your mic on. And then if any of the CarePatrol team members would like to pop back on the screen to close things out today, that would be great. So Stephanie and Ronald, I think you may have just had your hands raised by mistake, but if not, turn your mic on. And well, Bonnie, Charles, and great way to close out the year with a wonderful presentation.
It sure was. Thank you so much, Ted, for being with us today. We sincerely appreciate all of your insight and your valuable information and your time. Really goes a long way in providing what we hope would be information and education for our older adults and their families and professionals in the market who serve seniors.
Great. All right. Well, we are pretty much at the top of the hour. So if anybody on the screen has any last words to share, you can do it now, but it's been a real thrill working with CarePatrol this year. And as I looked at that YouTube link of all the discussions that we've done, it's absolutely mind-blowing, the content and the level of speakers that you all put together. Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
I agree.
Well, thanks, Ike. Thanks, Ted. Thanks, CarePatrol team. And thanks to all of you for making the discussion today a great one. And we will see you folks in the new year, probably. Have a
Happy holidays, everyone.
Yep.